everybody. Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to chapel today here at United Theological Seminary. And we have such a treat as Kaden will be leading us today in our experience. Kaden is a first-year student here at United Theological Seminary and has a very special and unique perspective on life, on theology, on faith. And we are so glad to have have Kaden here with us today. Excuse me, I apologize. And so without further ado, Kaden, take it away.
Thank you, Reverend Nikki, and hello, everyone. I would like to let everyone know that one of the people who said yes to sharing their story will not be here today. They are taking care of some last minute things that came up, but I'm hoping that we all have a good experience here today. I will be starting us off with an opening poem called Poems with Disabilities by Jim Ferris. The poem goes like this. I'm sorry, this space is reserved for poems with disabilities. I know it's one of the best spaces in the book. But the Poems with Disabilities Act requires us to make all reasonable accommodations for poems that aren't normal. There is a nice space just a few pages over. In fact, don't tell anyone. I think it's better than this one. I myself prefer it. Actually, I don't see any of those poems right now myself. But you never know when one might show up. So we have to keep this space open. You can't always tell just from looking at them either. Sometimes they'll look just like regular poems. When they roll in, you're reading along, and suddenly everything changes. The world tilts. A little angle of view jumps, focus, shifts. You remember your aunt died of cancer at just your age, and maybe yesterday's twinge means something after all. Your sloppy, fragile heart beats a little faster. And then you know, you just know. And the poem is right where it belongs. Uh, this first story comes from one of the people in the disability affinity group. Their name is Steph, and here's what they have to share. I've lived with visible and invisible disabilities my whole life. I experienced the culture of being a disabled person is one that is rich, problem solving, creativity, and connection to others. It is about finding new ways and solutions rather than what might be misconstrued. Uh, it's not about what's lacking either. Uh, this second story comes from me. It's my backup story. Uh, okay. I haven't always been disabled. It took me a long time to recognize the beauty and gift of what disability is and what it means to me. I found it uh, to be a blessing in disguise. Disability has taught me to be patient when needed and activist when called for. My own visible and invisible disabilities have uh, taken me on uh, uh, I got lost. And my invisible disabilities have taken me on uh, uh, taken me on uh, journeys of aspects of uh, aspects of life that I have not completely foreseen. An example of this was my journey to seminary. For me, this process started when I became involved at a Unitarian Universalist church in Salt Lake City, where one of the ministers asked me, "What do you need to thrive?" And I have taken that question with me in the work that I have done with Sunday school classes and into the initial phases of auditing classes. And then finally, as a student here at United. And I am very much grateful for the opportunities and encouragement to explore disability inclusion and theology here at United.
Kaden, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. And would you like to
Thank you
lead
for the opportunity to share my story.
Of course, of course. It's so important for us in United to understand where we're coming from, to understand what motivates us and what inspires us. And the reality is that we're all connected here. And so it's important to know what makes us tick, to know what we've been through and what we're going through and how we show up in the classroom and how we show up in the world. So I'll start with one of the quotes from the closing word. And Kaden, would you like to do the final closing word, the Emma Thompson quote?
Sure.
Hear these words, community. Hard things are put in our way, not to stop us, but to call out our courage and strength. And this quote is by someone unknown.
This next quote comes from Emma Thompson. They said, being disabled should not mean being disqualified from having access to every aspect of life.
Thank you, Kaden, so much. And friends, thank you for joining us today, joining us online. What an opportunity to be able to hear from our classmates and our colleagues in our community. So next week, we're going to take a pause and we lift up special prayers for President Marshall and her family. And we will be back at chapel on July 20th, where Dean Kyle Roberts will lead us. We're still deconstruction. Maybe we might be reconstructing. So y'all come back and see us. Have a great week. Take care of yourself. Spread love. Amen and ashe.